Welcome back to
Phoenix
and Raven, House of Mirrors.
Today, we are going to be interviewing, and it's going to be Raven's House of Mirrors interview. So,
yes,
Raven.
No.
Dun, dun, dun.
I didn't do it. Yes, ma'am. Phoenix, thank you so much for having me on your podcast. I heard so much good things about you and Raven.
Well, I'm so grateful to have you here with me.
Thank you.
I think that I really want to get into your story and just understanding who is Raven.
That's a good one. Well, Raven actually came about pretty quickly. I didn't want to get on here with my real name for several reasons, but I really wanted to think about it because, like you with the Phoenix Rain, and you're going to tell your story, but the same concept. I wanted something meaningfully. I wanted something that stood out, that kind of represented me and my personality. So you take the raven. Everybody knows the raven, the bird, is very intelligent. And maybe people don't know this because I didn't know it. I saw a documentary. It was on TV. It was talking about a raven, and they had this little box that was locked. The key was that there was a treat inside. So the raven figured out how to open it. Well, he's intelligent.
I love that.
Yeah, very intelligent, and they're problem solvers. Now, I'm not going to say I'm very intelligent, but I am a big problem solver, big time problem solver. Like, I can't let it go until I understand what's going on. So Raven is that. And Raven's also their curiosity. They're very curious. You know, the box trying to get a treat. So I'm curious in nature. I ain't gonna lie. I'd be over to see something looking like, what's going on over there? You know what I mean? Like, But so they're curious and transformation. And can we just say I have been through a lot of transformations in my life. I'm still transforming, as you would say. That's the bird itself. And so, back to, I think, first episode. I feel like I was a bird in one of my lifetimes. I love birds, everything about a bird. I remember when I was over in Germany with my best friend Kim, and we would sit outside and the bird was hopping, and I laughed so hard. I literally sat there and watched this bird for, 20 minutes, just hopping. I love birds. I love everything about birds. Our grandma was big in birds. Mm-hmm. She had remember the birth bath?
Oh, yeah.
In the window by the kitchen.
And she had little hummingbird feeders, and she would name each hummingbird that come and visit.
Mm-hmm. And my mom would have hummingbirds out there in her property, and them hummingbirds, they mean. They would buzz your head off. I mean, they would sit there and fight. She had too many hummingbird feeders up there, but they came out of the woodwork. Anyways, so I love birds. So Raven, that just resonates. And half my closet is black. So my favorite color is green, actually, but black is very up there. I remember my mom when I lived in Mexico before I moved to Germany. And my mom, she let me decorate the guest bath. I did black and gray. She's like, those are depressing colors. Are you depressed? I was like, no. And I still love black and gray. Spurs are black and gray. Raiders are black and gray. I'm just saying. Now, Spurs, of course, is a better topic than Raiders, but they coming. But anyways, I'm sorry. I'm getting off topic. So that's the Raven, okay? And then lyric, which is, to me, go hand in hand. Because lyric is the voice. Lyric means story, like, an expression. It's emotional, and I'm a Cancer, so I'm emotional. So you put them together, and I really believe it's the voice that speaks truth. And that's me, baby, all day long. I do not lie. I have no need to lie, no desire to lie. I might you know, when I speak and I say it's the truth, I mean, that's how I see it, how I believe it, how I perceive it.
Right.
I'm not saying it's true because you might have a different opinion, different view. You don't see it the way I see it. That's fine, but that's my truth.
Yes.
This is how I feel about it. And I'm not going to lie to anybody, even my kids.
All right. So that's Raven. That's your name that
Speaks
you
my
chose.
truth. Yeah.
Speaks your truth.
Yeah.
So
Raven Lyric is.
what part of your story brought you here?
What part of my story brought me here to where we're at?
Yeah.
I think probably the loss of my daughter. I think losing Diasa, you know, she was special needs. So from before she was even birthed in this world, we already knew something was different about her. And I was a big old wibble wobble thing. But she had multiple holes in her heart. I mean, she had holes behind muscles. So when she was born, they had to keep her alive for 7 days. When the baby's in your stomach and and ready for birth, there's this thing called PDA bridge, and that's where the blood flows while it's in the baby. And then once it bursts out, that PDA bridge eventually closes. That's how I was explained. Okay. So don't come at me if if I'm doing that wrong, but that's literally how I was explained. And so a lot of times, you ever heard a heart murmur?
Mm-hmm.
So a heart murmur is from that PDA bridge that sometimes doesn't close all the way, and that's where they hit it. So the doctor, now my daughter was born November 20th. November 27th, Thanksgiving. So there was no surgeon around. For the heart surgeon that had to do the surgery was on vacation. So they had this medicine that they kept the PDA bridge open so the blood flow would still go through. Because remind you, she had holes in her heart. So blood was going to go everywhere through, from what I understand. So anyways, she had to have open heart surgery when she was 7 days old. At the time, we lived in Texas. I was born in Texas. Can't say born and raised. I was born in military life. 4 years old. Sorry. I was born in Texas and I lived in Texas till I was 4. My mom and dad divorced. And then she remarried 3 months later to a military man, and off we went. Every 4 years, I always was in a different place. So yes, so what brought me here was really and truly Diasa. So she was special needs. Not to go way back from birth, but for the first 5 years, we were in and out of the hospital a lot. And then, she taught me a lot. She taught me patience. She really did teach me a lot of patience. There was a lot of new coming at me. I mean, only had my son who was only 5 years old when she was born. And then, I'll never forget this. My daughter, who I was on birth control, to be honest with you, and she shouldn't have been here, but she came 13 months after Diasa. So dealing with the special needs and then find out you're pregnant and you're like, oh, and that scared me too, because I didn't know she was going to turn out the same way Diasa turned out. So that was kind of scary, but Diasa death is really the mirror that I probably would say brought me here. Cause I went very dark. Diasa, lived with what I call my baby mama. Me and Kelly have a very strong relationship. Kelly actually worked at the school that Diasa went to when she first got into the system. So she was like 3 or 4, very young age. And we, grew Kelly's family, Kelly and Brad's family, and Kelly's family's family. We're all family. So She's like my older sister.
Mm.
And so she asked actually, because me and my ex divorced, so it was just me and my younger daughter and Diessa. And Diessa required that type of help that you need two people.
Right.
You really do. I couldn't be the breadwinner and also take her to the doctor's appointment and also, pick her up from school and all this. So Kelly, that's why she's my baby mama. Okay. Cause I picked her up because I needed the help. My mom was sick at the time too, when all this transition was going. Again, the Raven, transforming from, you know, caring for my mom to my, trying, it's just a bunch of stuff from, leaving the breadwinner, and then you're on your own. And so anyway, long story short, Diessa was in a good school system. She had a great nurse with her. She was set up, and I would have been very selfish if I pulled her out of that system to take her to Florida, because my younger daughter, because that's where we were. We were in Florida when me and my ex separated. And so I pulled her out of school and everything. So I would have been selfish. And I really had to have that conversation. I remember going to Aunt Vicky's house, and she was doing her, healing.
Mm-hmm.
And I had that conversation with her, and DS is so routine and structure, and she brightens everybody's, anyone that meets her. I mean, you fall in love with her. She's a beautiful soul, and that soul should be touching others. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's kind of where I got with that. So DS wasn't with me when in Florida. When she passed away, she was in Texas. And when I got the call, I was at work. And I remember falling to my knees because I didn't understand what was going on. So when I got to Texas, they basically kept her on the breathing machine. They're very limited who could get up there. So it was only so many people, right?
Right.
So we pulled the breathing thing out, and that was hard, very hard, very hard. You're supposed to bury you. You're not supposed to bury them. That I was saying. To lose a child, that one hits harder than anything I can even try to compare to. I thought losing my mom was bad because I didn't realize how much I picked up that phone and just to vent to my mom. Mama, you ain't gonna believe this. Mama, I didn't realize that until she passed, and I just lost my best friend. So that was hard. But your child, that's a different pain. I mean, it is, I know you could, but there's not a day in my mind. I always think about her somehow, some way. You just miss her, always. And it just hits you out of nowhere, you're just like, oh, you smell a memory, something. Um, and that's when I got this tattoo. Me and Kelly and my daughter, my youngest daughter, we all got matching tattoos with DS's name on it. And so I left and went back. So I took a week off from work. And to remind you, I lived by myself at the time, in a 1-bedroom little apartment. When I tell you it was so easy for me to go dark, to shut everybody off, I didn't want to talk to nobody. To me, I thought I was mourning. I just wanted to mourn the loss.
Right.
It was deeper than that because it was easy. And it was to the point where, you know what? What's the use of going on? The pain hurt so bad that darkness and just not wanting to get up and do anything, try to do anything, or be so, like totally, like when I say dark, it was dark. It was too easy, but deep down, I didn't care. I just felt like what's the use? I mean, it just took me so blind struck. I wasn't expecting Diasa to pass. What happened was she had a stroke, but this is like 1% people have this, and it is fatality. But the stroke, it kept growing and growing. The whole back of her head in the x-ray showed red. It was just red, but it just kept going and going and going. And then, bless her heart, during COVID time, when they looked at her lungs, they couldn't give her medicine for the stroke because the lungs looked like it was COVID disease all in her lungs, but it was blood clots. And they couldn't treat that because of that and that and that. And it was just nothing we could do, nothing we could do at all. But yeah, so my house of mirrors, that definitely would be, that brought me here was her. And how did I get out of that mirror? So that inner self, you know, right from wrong. I just feel we do. And I knew that it wasn't a good place for me to be.
Yeah.
I also took another week off of work. And that's when I knew you can't do that. Yeah. So, yeah, so I would have to say that would probably be why I'm here, because the way I broke out of that is I have 2 other kids. You know what I'm saying? I have 2 other kids, and I can't be selfish like that, because then if I dwindled down to that point where, you know, say what you want to say, but I didn't want to be here.
Yeah.
I wanted to be with her. That's all I wanted to do. I wanted to give that hug. I wanted her laugh, you know. Woo! I didn't come here to cry today.
Yeah, maybe you did. I'm gonna be crying on this show, and that's okay.
Anyway, yeah.
Where do you feel? Okay.
Yeah, it hurts. It does, but the beauty of it is that my children, the ones that, you know, my son and my daughter, and I knew if anything was to, you know, happen, you know, how would they feel? You know, that would be a double whammy. So, I had to put my big girl panties on, and I think, to be honest, that loneliness, that staying, I mean, literally in bed all day. I don't even think, I know I went probably 2 or 3 days without eating. I'm sure of it. I'm sure of it. I just slept, cried, slept, cried, slept, cried. And you know, people would call, but I didn't answer. I didn't pick up the phone. I didn't care. I didn't care. And but I knew it was bad. I knew it wasn't good. And I take that back. I did have some people, my friend Alicia that I worked with, the coworker, she kept trying to check in. You know, and I can't remember who told me, I know it's hard. Gotta get up. You gotta get back into life. And I did. I checked out of life. That's pretty much what I did. I just checked out, and I didn't want to check back in, because I mean, life's too hard. It really is. Then when you lose a child, it's just, your whole world just crumbles. It's just like, how do you pick up the pieces and put a smile on your face, and act like everything's great, especially for your kids? How you do that? Well, you do. You find a way. And I did. And once, you know, like I said, you still think about it. It's not a day that don't go by. Yeah. But it just, it doesn't get easier. Like my mom, I mean, she's been, you know, she passed in 2014, and I miss her just as much as I did the day she went. So it never goes away. And I think it's that personality, that person, you know, you love someone, you have these memories and this connection. And then when they're gone, all you have is memories
Mm.
until you lose that when you get older. Once I looked in that mirror and I saw how easy it was for me to stay there, I knew I couldn't. I knew it'd be bad. When you do drugs, like crack is a dead end road. I don't care. Drugs is dead end road. It just is.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the addiction is just going to pull you down further and further and further, you know. So that's in a sense kind of what I was doing. I was pulling myself into a dead end road, and I knew, this ain't good. This ain't right. I mean, not eating, laying in bed, not talking, just isolating myself. And again, my excuse, the way I thought, was I was mourning. This is mourning. Me, I'm mourning. But I mean, to be honest, we mourn every day, but we don't act on it. And the difference was I was acting on it.
Mm.
So that's what brought me here. I mean, I have so many house mirrors, honey.
So if you were going to go back to like the first mirror, looking back, what was one of the first mirrors life forced you to look into, something that made you confront a part of yourself?
Oh, I definitely would have to say, the first time my marriage. You know, growing up, my mom, very religious, go to church. She, Bible, she worshiped her father. He was king of the house, that kind of Baptist kind of talk. So she would tell me when I got married, you know, you have rough problems, issues, adultery, stuff of that nature that happens in your marriage and whatnot. And, so when I would go to my mom, again, my best friend, hey, this and this, I think I want to leave. I don't want to be in this marriage no more. She would say, now, honey, I know it's rough, but trust me, I've been through divorce and you don't want to go through that. And so I took that, you know, as advice from my mom. And then another thing, but what was happening is I wasn't speaking my truth. I wasn't being me. I was allowing this person to to take away my values, like what I believe in. I was finding that I was being more submissive to somebody that didn't value what I value, or a lot of things that I wasn't taught. Again, my mom married 3 times. I wasn't taught that, hey, when you go to find your husband, make sure that husband's going to be a good daddy role model. He's going to be a good provider. You know what I'm saying? He's going to be, you know, I didn't have that. All I heard was my mom say how, and my grandfather you know, I love my grandfather. He definitely would tell me stories when I was a little girl, and I would just be talking like I do now. Running my mouth.
My dad was 6'2". Grandma was like 6'4".
Yeah,
I know he was tall.
He was tall. And he was like, I'd be holding your hand, we'd be walking, and he said, you'd just be blah, 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 blah. And I didn't know a word you were saying, but, you know, so yeah, grandpa, you know, my mom looked up to him, and she told me, put that man on the pedestal. He's the king of your house, and you put him on the pedestal. And I just couldn't believe how naive I was, to be honest with you. But it wasn't that I was naive. It was just what I was taught. I remember I was going through medical school, and we were in psychology, and it was the 5 steps to a person building up anger. And I literally set my ex, I watched him go through the 5 levels of anger until he jumped me and tried to choke the life out of me, and I had an out-of-body experience. I missed the brick we had this, back in the, 70s, 80s, when you walk into the entranceway, remember grandma had it, the little brick little thing.
Yeah.
And you used to put flowers and stuff. Well, we had one that was like
Mm.
where our little dining room was, and I was sitting on a little stool, and I remember finally spoke my truth. I'm done. It was so sad. Do you know I waited to after his mother died before I spoke my truth, just out of disrespecting her. I didn't
Mm.
want her to witness us, going through a breakup or whatever. But then I realized another thing is that his father was probably the one I should have waited on.
Mm.
Because when she passed, that's when I was like, we're done. But to get back to my speaking the truth, when I finally spoke my truth, it almost cost my life. In a sense that he was trying to choke the shit out of me. So I was sitting on one of those little doctor stool, and like I said, I saw him go through the 5 levels of anger, and he died. Took me back. I missed it this much. My best friend Rhonda was out in the patio. She luckily saw it, and I'm standing over my body, or I'm floating over my body, looking down, and I see him choking me, and I see my best friend running in, trying to get him off. Luckily, her son was there, and he comes running in and pulls him off, and you could see his red and marks on my throat and stuff. And so that was me speaking my truth and having to fight for my truth. And
Mm.
yeah, so sometimes we have to be strong even when it's hard. I
Yeah.
mean, there's a lot of people that speak their truth and get rocks thrown at them and get thrown in jail or get killed because they're speaking their truth. um so I would have to say that was the very first time that I really looked in that mirror and said, "Who are you?" I would cry. I was so miserable. I didn't feel loved. I felt alone. I'm raising, 3 kids, and it was a lot. But I didn't look at it like that at that time. Looking back, I had to do what I had to do to keep these kids from,
Yeah.
not dying on me. I mean, for real. So. But yeah, that would be the first time I think I really and truly had to that when you said look at yourself.
What was a pattern you kept repeating before you finally recognized it for what it was?
Huh, that not every man deserves to be on a pedestal. And that my mom, as much as I love and value and worship every little word she spoke, my mom don't lie. Okay, my mom speaks the truth. And it might not be what you want to hear. Uh, it hits you. But yeah, no, I realized that even though she went through her divorce and divorces, and it wasn't a good experience for her, that was her experience and her path. It wasn't necessarily mine,
Right.
you know? Um, So that's when I realized that I need to start valuing what I believe in, my worth. I'm worthy and I do have a voice. And if I just stick to being true to myself, and this is something like I said in episode 1, I told all my kids, I even told you when you move in, you guys, stay true to yourself because you can't go wrong. You can't go wrong if you stay true to yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was an eye awakener, and it took 25 years, you know, and it was
Mm.
definitely an experience. I'll tell you that much.
So looking back at that with the pattern, not putting every man on a pedestal, do you feel like your pattern was maybe not seeing through the mirror clearly? Like you were looking through a distorted mirror in your house of mirrors that you're supposed to put the man on the pedestal, but truthfully, behind that distortion and the truth of it was you were abandoning you. And you
Oh,
weren't taught before you get in that and even be with somebody else you need to put yourself on a pedestal and love yourself fully so that you can call in someone that's gonna not complete you, but you guys are gonna work together.
Yes. Yeah. I always say I put myself on the back burner. And that is really, really true. I mean, with kid, we all do. I know there's several moms right now out there listening that put themselves on the back burner because we think our kids are, we have these kids, they got to come first. And in a sense that it is because, we have to care and teach them and all that stuff. I mean, it's not an easy, yeah, it's not an easy task. I mean,
not at all.
no. And, so moms do that.
Yeah.
And dads. I mean, there's dads out there listening that single dad. My boyfriend was a single father. And that man got up early in the morning, make sure he cooked breakfast for his kids before they went to school. He drove them to school. I don't think neither one of them rode the bus. And he picked them up from school. And then they all had activities.
Right.
And so, yeah, it's hard. It's really hard. So you mom and dads out there that are single parents and you are, putting the grind in and doing the time. Hey, kudos to you. Hang in there. Trust me, it does get better when they get older in the sense that they are adults and living on their own. And
hopefully.
Yeah. Yeah, they do come back. They do come back. It might be temporary, but I found through life, they come back.
But you also have to remember
to kick them out.
Don't always, don't put yourself on the back burner. Like, don't abandon you.
Right.
Because when it comes down to it, like, if you're not giving yourself what you truly need, you're not truly giving anybody around you. You can't give them what they actually need from you because you're not even giving yourself what you need.
Amen, sister. For real. That is so true. So true. And that's what I did. And I'm a Cancer. I'm nurturing. And so that's another thing about me. I always, took care of everything. I did. I put myself in the back burner. I did. Abandonment. There you go. That was my first. That was my first mirror. Shattered it.
So
wait, shatter it.
Boom.
I love that little drum.
So if we're moving into that, seeing that pattern, that's your house of mirrors. What's something you had to forgive yourself, not because you were necessarily innocent, but because you realized you couldn't keep punishing yourself for something that had already happened? So something happened, and I feel guilty that it happened. Is that what you're kind of saying? Yeah, like not punishing yourself, but what's something you had to forgive yourself for? Diaz's death. Yeah, for sure. That I felt like I should have been there. I felt like I let her down. I mean, anything, everything. And again, that's where that deepness, because the guilt was hard. I just felt, even though I didn't do anything wrong and I did everything that I thought was right, but then something out of the blue happened. And even if she lived with me, that this was going to happen. Right. It was her destiny. That's where it was her destiny. As a matter of fact, crazy story, me and my daughter, I went to, my daughter, she lives in Georgia, and I went to IT school in Georgia. And during the time I was living with her, what's that guy's name? Matt. Ryan? No, Matt. Oh my gosh, I can't believe. He's the angel medium psychic dude that's like super. Is it Matt Ryan? Not Matt Rife. That's a comedian. Right. Oh, no. I saw him in concert. He's cute. But anyway, but he is. Something else. I think it's Matt Ryan. I don't know Matt, but he's a medium. Anyways, he was doing an internet thing, and me and Tamisha, my youngest, we got pulled in the room, me and my daughter, and Diasa came through, and wow, all I can say is wow. He goes, I feel like someone had like a stroke or something like that. And I'm like, no.
I was like, maybe my stepfather, but I think he had like a massive heart attack or something like that. And I don't know, we don't talk or something I said. And then he's like, okay, because he said what it was, there were so many people around. He said, I'd never seen so many people. And he goes,
I got chills.
And he goes, he was just saying, well, there's another spirit that's stepping up, is saying that he's very grateful that you did the jersey for him. And it was my daughter. When we ended up moving back to Texas, the high school she went to, one of her classmates was T-boned on his way to someone's house at a football game, and someone T-boned him and he died. And he was thanking her because she went around and was getting everybody to make his jersey number, for a celebration for, I think, homecoming or something like that for the football game. So he came through just to thank her because she still had the shirt. I was saying, you still have, she goes, oh my gosh. So that got her. And then he came back as like, all right. So he's like, he feels like this is my daughter. He's like, she just like, everyone just parted to see, and she walked up and she needs to be, and talk about a stroke. I was like, oh yeah, she had a like stroke. Remember? He goes, well, that's what I was saying.
He's like, you gotta listen to what I'm saying.
I was like, oh my God. But this like melt my heart. It's like, she says you are a good mom, and that I was difficult. I forgot how you said it. I was difficult, and it was hard taking care of me, and you made me feel normal. You didn't make me feel special. Like I had a problem, like I was special needs. And then, actually, one of her aunties was her godmother. She planted a tree for her, named her, and he brought that up. Talking about she's very thankful, not just her, but other people have been planting things in her honor. Yeah. Oh, it was great. It was great. But yeah, that's the pattern was my, like you said, abandoning myself, putting myself on the back burner. That was probably one of my first ahas about myself, learning that speak your truth. No matter how difficult it is, you stay true to yourself. I mean, yeah, no one's saying it's going to be easy breezy, but if you truly believe in what you stand for, what you believe in, I mean, I always say I pick and choose my battles.
I've always learned that from her too. I've said that over the years. So you told me when I was younger.
Pick and choose.
Pick and choose your battles. And I remember asking myself, is this the battle fighting right now?
Right?
Where would this shit go? I don't know. Let me go analyze it for a
feel like, how important is this to me? I don't care that, the sky is light blue, even though I think it's blue, but that's your
purple shit.
Right? Like, I'm gonna let this one go. But I have spoke up on things that, I believe in, and like I put my foot down.
Yeah.
I have a lot more going on. Another thing was, my mom's a yeller. I was a yeller, and it was my brother who brought it to my attention one day, because he would come over to my house when we lived in Texas. We were like literally 10 minutes from each other. And I remember he was sitting down in the living room, and I was standing, and I had upstairs, downstairs, and I was like, I'm yelling up at the kids upstairs. And he goes, God, girl. And it wasn't just that time. Then I did it again. He goes, God, girl, you always gotta be yelling. You yell at everything. I'm like, wow. So him bringing that to my attention, not that he was being ugly. It was just something self that I didn't even realize I was doing. Right. But then when I went to go yell the next time when he wasn't around, I heard his voice. I'm like, oh, he's right. I do yell a lot.
Right.
I'm sorry, babies. I am so sorry to my children. And my son says, oh my God, you treat you treat the younger one so different than you did me. I was like, you was my firstborn. You were the trial and error kid. And we made it, so we're celebrating.
Right. Trial and error.
Yeah.
Sorry to all the oldest children who had to go through that shit.
Exactly. Apologize. So apologize. So yeah. So.
I love that. So I have a couple more questions. If you were sitting across from younger Raven during one of your hardest chapters, what would you tell her?
It's going to be okay. Breathe. Breathe, breathe, breathe. Take the deep breath in, hold it for 4, and blow it out for 4. And just know that everything's temporary. Nothing's forever. Even us, we have a checkout time. You know? Yep. So enjoy every moment, every second. Yeah, I would tell her, like, don't take everything so serious. You know, just enjoy life, be happy, follow your passion, and don't worry about all the other stuff. Universe is going to work it out. Just breathe and be truthful, but speak your truth.
So bringing that into the closing question.
Okay.
What was your house of mirrors and how did you break the illusion?
My house of mirrors was abandonment of myself. Put myself on the back burner, kind of, per se.
How did you break the illusion?
Well, I kind of got thrown in through the glass, but
that happens sometimes.
Yeah.
Shatters everywhere.
It took me a long time to really end it. You know what I mean? Yeah. So, I always say everybody has that breaking point. So, abandonment of myself and my values was when I allow myself to love another person and put them more valuable than I am. Yeah. Which I guess is okay if it's a good person that can hold that position. Like I told him, I said, yeah, you've been fired. You are no longer CEO of this operation, sir.
I don't think you should ever put anyone above you. But I think, because I think once you unconditionally love you and you realize that everything is connected, so you're going to draw in that love that you already have for yourself, and that's what you're going to bring in. So, and then you love yourself, because I feel like you have to love yourself the most. And then that love just radiates. When you unconditionally love yourself fully and accept yourself for everything that you truly are, then that love just radiates outside and just.
That's where I want to be. And I'm almost there. I am. I got some ego issues going on, but we're working on it. We're working on it. We're working on it. We're going to be telling ego, hush. Oh, ego loves to stay in the past. Oh my gosh. It's like, come on. Listen, guys, if y'all not in the current state, you're not doing it. You're not right. We're here for an experience, so we have to live in the moment. Can't live in the past, and you definitely can't live in the future. Gotta live in the moment. That's my little wisdoms for the day.
Oh, I love it. I love being able to sit here with you and just experiencing Raven and your house of mirrors and what you have learned through it, and what the knowledge that you, and the wisdom and the knowing and everything that you've gone through, and then being able to, because you do have a lot of wisdom, and just can you communicate so well and be able to share that and relate and be like, damn, I feel it.
But my inner self is like, oh my God, I talk too much. I'm terrible. I'm off track.
And that's all the fucking house.
Right. Like I said, I need to go and break all those mirrors. I really do. And I am. By the time I get done with your 12-week program, I'm pretty sure I'm going to be radiating that love and light for all of y'all.
I love that. Oh,
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. I do. And, I have a lot of stories like we all do. We all have stories.
yeah.
Um, you know, and just talking to you about that, like when you said my first self, that just, wow, that took me way back to, it's crazy. It's like, I remember saying, I just put myself on the back burner all these years and I stopped doing my hair. I thought, you really neglect yourself and you got to have self love, self care. And I didn't learn that till 3 years ago. That's kind of a snippet of me. Hey.
I loved it. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me on your House of Mirrors.
Yes. Thank all of you who joined. And, I hope that if any of this hits a nerve or if you can relate or just feel into her story and if you can feel into your own House of Mirrors and what you've gone through or what you're going through right now. I mean, we're all probably going through a lot of House of Mirrors right now with everything that's going on top of everything that we've already been through. So, I think that I love that this place, I feel like it's just a place that we can come and really talk about that, express it, and just get into the depths of it and see our shadow and our patterns so that we can recognize and be aware of them so that we can be like, oh, okay, so now what direction do I go and how can I show that inner part of me more love so that I can see clearly through the reflection of like my soul rather than the distortion. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Totally. And then, once you start going through the one mirror, the another mirror, it gets, I don't say it easier because there's some hard mirrors that might take a little more cracking to get into, and then there's some that we didn't even know. Like my brother, the whole yelling thing. I didn't know.
Right.
It
just becomes a pattern of what it is and it's just like an automatic thing and we don't recognize it.
Exactly.
Until we do.
And then we face it and then it no longer serves us. Brush that off. Keep moving, right? That's the key, I think. And for all you single moms and dads out there, like I said, take a deep breath and just know that everything is temporary. And you got this. You got this. Okay. You're gonna be okay. They're gonna be okay. Believe it or not, they will. Yeah. You just gotta be there for them, show up and discipline. I'm sorry. That's a whole nother topic we ain't gonna get into. But hey, then now my kids, they take care of themselves. My son's got 3 kids and a beautiful wife and, they live, doing great. My daughter, she's got a beautiful partner and I just want to take a hot minute and just say, I am so proud that this partner is in her life. I really am. She needs a good soul. She needs a good person like this person. And it just, when I say my baby girl has been through the ringer with some relationships, you know what I'm saying? As we all have, ain't nothing special. But just to finally see your child happy and know that the person she's spending her life with is treating her good, and genuinely cares and loves her. I'm very, very I'm happy for that. Even my son, he's got a beautiful wife and 3 beautiful babies. Oh my God, they're so cute. But anyways, they're my babies. But, they're doing good. But yeah, guys, appreciate y'all tuning in. And, I hope my story resonate with somebody out there and just know that, even though you get in that dark space, I mean, it's okay for a little bit, but you got to pull yourself up and other people around you, your loved ones, they care and they want to be around you, obviously.
Yeah, grief is hard.
It's hard.
So definitely allow other people to support you if you're going through something that, I mean, any kind of grief.
Yeah, for
Because
sure.
isolation and pushing people away, it doesn't really help.
No,
That's one I've had to learn for myself is like, I need people in my life to support and love me, and I need to allow them to love me. And sometimes when we're going through that grief, we feel like we're all alone.
and we want to be alone sometimes. We
We
don't want to
do.
hear, "Oh, I'm so sorry to hear." You know, and then don't get me wrong, people are, that sorry to hear for your loss, and I know you are,
Right.
but
But
who wants to hear
sometimes you
that?
don't want, right.
Don't
So,
bring it up. I don't want to remember. I'm trying not to remember that pain, Yeah, because I know it's going to hit somehow, some way. The memory's going to pop up or something. I put more torture on myself, but that's what I think bothered me more so when I got back into the work field. But luckily, I had a small company that I worked for, and we are all close, like family, anyway. So it wasn't something that just kept dragging out, dragging out. So eventually, people forget, and as time goes, people forget things. So it's okay. I'm not
but
saying
it's
they
okay to
forget
let,
BS. They forget, and so they don't ask questions anymore.
no, I think they just, time moves on and yeah.
Time
But
moves
I
on.
think just being supportive of each other and loving one another, and sometimes for two mamas who have lost a child and knowing what it feels like, sometimes we don't need a bunch of words. Sometimes it's nice to just have somebody that's just there to
Right.
just love on you. You ain't gotta say
Exactly.
shit. Just be there. That right there in itself feels like, okay, I'm okay. Yeah.
And where was you when DS had passed?
I was in my addiction somewhere off.
In Colorado?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was down in my darkness of my own addiction, which we'll get into later. But
Yeah. She is episode 3.
and I'm alive past 3, and you're 22, and you were 2, so 2 and 2. That's kind of cool.
Yep.
All right, so I guess that's all we have for you guys tonight. I hope that hope you enjoyed. And
Oh wait, look.
oh
I
yeah,
had to show my Betty Boops. That's my mama was Betty DeLue Decker, and that was
Betty Boop.
Betty Boops.
I love
We
Betty.
call her Betty Boops. And these are her earrings. So I said, in honor of her, I will wear Betty Boops for my mama.
I love that.
Yeah.
I feel like they're all with us right now.
Oh, yeah. They're all sitting here looking at us like, girl, that is not what I said. You lying on me.
No,
No, of course not. But we thank you again, and we hope this resonates with you. And leave your comments of your story, your mirror, your house of mirrors. That'd be great. If you want us to interview you so you could tell your story, just drop a line and
yeah,
we'll get you scheduled in.
that'd be awesome.
Yeah. So stay tuned for next Friday, same time, 6 a.m. Eastern time. We're going to be doing episode 3, where I'm interviewing Phoenix. So bye. Thank you.
All right, fellow weirdos, thank you so much, and good night.